While it technically hasn't been a year since I started regularly uploading videos to YouTube, 2020 has been my first full year. My anniversary would have been in September, but at the time I completely forgot about it, even though I had a video such as this one planned. Let's just act like it actually has been a year since I started while watching this video. 1 year on YouTube isn't a long time by any stretch of the imagination, and there are creators that have achieved much more in a shorter amount of time than me. I'm not even halfway to being partnered, but you can change that by subscribing right now. Despite that, I reckon I've lasted longer than most who signed up for a YouTube channel and started producing videos. I haven't been able to find any statistics, it's just my hunch. Based purely on my videos on how they performed, I do have a few words of advice to anyone considering giving this malarkey a go. And I'll go into some more general advice towards the end of this video, so stay tuned. I've gone ahead and categorized my top videos into 3 distinct groups. First on the scene, drama, and missing content. Some videos might belong in 2 groups, but there's an obvious distinction to what makes me put a video in a certain group or another. I'll start with the first group because it is one you can really profit from by being a small channel. In my case, the first on the scene and drama groups overlap quite frequently, and you'll see what I mean by that in a minute. By first on the scene, I mean nothing more than producing a video on a subject such as a product launch as early as possible. As a small YouTuber, you most likely don't have a recording schedule or have to publish certain videos at a certain time to please a sponsor or anything the like. You can react to news quickly and before anyone else can. Once your channel starts growing, that might no longer be the case. My video on the Zeiss ZX1 is the perfect example. As soon as articles were published on this camera being released after 2 years of nothing, I was at my computer writing a script. By the time my video was in the can, a search on YouTube basically brought up official videos from Zeiss's channel and then my video, followed by a bunch of videos which were uploaded 2 years ago when the camera was originally announced. I still don't understand why it took 16 days for my video to gain any form of traction, but in the following 30 days it reached almost 3,000 views. For me, that's a lot. As a small creator, you can also afford to be a little bit cheeky sometimes. DP Review or Kaiman Wong would have never made such a video because everything I said was speculation based on the camera specs. While writing my script, no one had actually used the camera. It was just me rambling on and giving my opinion on things. Were I to rely on sponsors, I would have never been able to upload such a video. 2 further examples are my videos on the new Nvidia and AMD Radeon graphics cards. I didn't actually own any of the cards, which you might claim make my videos misleading, but I analyzed the benchmarks and gave my thoughts on what to expect from them. All of the videos I'd seen on the cards were based around gaming, and I was one of the first to analyze their performance in creative applications. I think I'll leave drama for last because that group might make some of you quite furious. Missing content is exactly what you'd expect it to be. Videos that haven't been made yet. My second most popular video is the perfect example of such a video. In it, I reviewed my flip belt, a running accessory which I use. The video was made quite early on, and to be honest, I'm now quite embarrassed by the quality. I made that video because before I bought my own flip belt, I couldn't find any YouTube reviews on it. And I guess I wasn't the only one interested in such a video. My video on the Loop Deck alternative falls into the same group. It's something I personally use, but I couldn't find all too many videos on it. So I put together a quick guide for those interested. Talking about reviews, I made the discovery that my 6 months later videos became quite popular. And that makes perfect sense. Think about it. If you were considering a product, would you rather listen to the opinion of someone who owned it for a week or of someone who's been using it for half a year? I'm assuming that YouTube also recommended these videos to those that watched the earlier review. Finally, there's the group you will most likely hate. Drama. I'm not going to claim that drama is a good thing, but it definitely works for attracting viewers. The best example for what this group stands for is my most watched and most hated video titled "The new XPS 15 is a disappointment." There's a few things that made this video very clickable. Firstly, I was once again first on the scene. There hadn't been any reviews uploaded at the time. Secondly, the name and the thumbnail. I'll admit that I was a bit cheeky with the thumbnail. While it wasn't doctored or photoshopped in any way, I was holding up my current XPS 15, which does look rather similar to the newest model. My claim in the video was mainly based around how I thought the new XPS 15 was a disappointment because Dell wasn't using AMD CPUs and hadn't improved the cooling. That information was taken directly from the spec sheet and the images Dell had published. I wasn't lying, making up stuff on the spot, or claiming that I was reviewing the actual physical product. But many viewers thought I was passing off the video as a review, and they hated it. There were a few who defended me, saying I never claimed it was a review, but pretty much everyone agreed that the thumbnail was a bit misleading. At the end of the day, it was just me talking about a laptop. I don't quite understand the fanboy fangirl culture where people will go as far as to sending death threats if anyone dares to criticize anything they like just because it comes from a certain brand. Other videos I'd consider drama was my part review, part rant on the Drobo 5D3, which was once again helped out by a clickbait title. Then there's my commentary on the Olympus camera division being sold. I made sure to include Micro Four Thirds in the title of that one because I know many camera nerds get defensive about the format they use and would very likely leave a comment saying how wrong I am about everything in life. Technically, there is one last group into which most of my other videos fall, but it isn't nearly as popular as the three just mentioned: guides. And I think that's one of the reasons why my channel isn't gaining subscribers at a rapid pace. Nobody subscribes to a channel posting guides, at least not to a small channel. I'll get views, but not subs. If you, for example, search for generate blogs guides on Google, my video will be the first results in the little video block, and it's got over 1,000 views and a decent number of likes, but I just feel like viewers don't subscribe to a channel providing that type of content. And that nicely leads me on to more general advice. If you want to gain subscribers quickly, don't do as I do. Find a niche and really nail it down. My videos are made up of WordPress guides, Unrate guides, Lightroom guides, and everything in between. Were I to just have uploaded guides on one of those subjects, I would most likely have more subscribers because they know what to expect. My channel, on the other hand, is very unpredictable. I've recently launched a couple of so-called niche websites which inform you about one specific product. And let me tell you that those websites are getting way more views than any of my more general sites. Same goes for YouTube. I'd also say that you shouldn't consider YouTube if you don't enjoy the process. In most cases, it'll take quite some time before you start making money, and even longer before you start making good money. You don't want to be stuck doing something you don't like for months or years. It'll also show in your videos. But if you do decide to start making videos, prepare yourself for disappointment. Reaching just 100 subscribers might take you months. And once you've passed that number, you will also start having negative subscriber days. Don't take it personally. Learn to ignore that number. Your enjoyment shouldn't be based on the number of subs you have. Speaking of ignoring things, you will also start receiving comments from people who either don't like you or your videos, or maybe both. Some might be fair and others might just be unacceptable. There's a few ways of handling these situations. You either respond telling the commenter that no, they're the head, or you simply delete the comment because at the end of the day, it's your channel, you decide what to do with it. And yes, depending on what you do, you will receive death threats. I had a few on my XPS 15 video. For those comments, you also have a few different options. If it's from someone who's easily identifiable and who might be in the same country as you, go to the police. Death threats are a crime. If it's a spam account or a troll, report it to YouTube and have their account closed. Threats are to be taken seriously, but in most cases they will be coming from a chubby little kid who only showers twice a year, but still, never underestimate them. To finish this video off, a few more things you can do to increase the reach of your channel. Use new features Google introduces, such as YouTube Shorts, which have been a huge boost for me. And you should consider reaching out to people on Twitter and in YouTube comments. That's actually something I'm awful at, but I know it could potentially help me grow. Maybe next year. Please remember that you don't actually have to make YouTube videos. If you're no longer enjoying it, take a break. Your channel won't die if you don't upload for a few weeks. Do something else and it might give you ideas on how to create better videos or new subjects to explore. Don't be a slave to the algorithm. By the way, this isn't my first video I've uploaded on being a YouTuber. I'll put together a playlist of all my YouTube guides and link them somewhere for your enjoyment. And there you have it, my tips for those new to this platform. If you did like this video, please hit that like button to show your support. And if you didn't like this video, click on the dislike button twice to make it extra impactful. While you're down there, please also consider subscribing. All right, that's been enough from me for Monday. I will see you in the next one. Bye.